Okay, let's talk about this new album, this Manifesto Futurista.
Yes.
I think about the expression of that album. It's more aggressive, and there's no compromise in that sound. So, what are the reasons for?
Well, as we already discussed, part of it is due to the massacre that took place in Finland by a young man called Pekka Erik Auvinen, who was incidentally a fan of Sturmgeist. If you look at the two first Sturmgeist releases, I mean, they were very eclectic and were, they had this ironic layer to them, you know, poking at Germanic culture and joking about the relationship between Norwegians and Germans and English people, and you know, it was supposed to be fun. With the first cover had a Jägermeister,
Yeah.
like it was like a version of the Jägermeister label. The second cover was the Union Jack in German colors. I mean, which is pretty much asking for trouble, and you know, and I actually got it too. Not in the way I did expect. It was the most tragic event that happened, and it caused. I had to go really into myself and ask myself painful questions about what I was doing, you know, because mainstream society looks at us or looked at me as a musician. I made the music that this guy listened to in the periods before he went amok with a Beretta and killed 8 people out there. He also made a video to one of my songs. The Unknown Soldier has somewhere in the internet you can find it. It's with Auvenen's words where he says like, "Maybe I will go down in history. I hope you enjoy what will happen. I'm sure I will." Something like that. Very disturbing to look at. I don't think that video has ever gained media attention, so it's like, but it can be found out there. The whole thing is, for me as a human being and as a person, I find it really disturbing. So it's now been over 2 years since, or almost 2 years since the accident or the massacre took place. To which my only link is, of course, the fact that he listened to the music at Uber. During that time, what happened was asking myself a lot of questions, painful questions, and when I decided to go on, to push onwards or forwards with Sturmgeist, still it's mixing German and English here, still. What happened was really that the suitable expression for a new album was it had to be dark and aggressive and very personal. In a way, there is a lot of pain and anguish behind the new album. The first 2 lines are, "Here is my anguish, the beast within let loose. Here is my anger, the beast within let loose." That pretty much sums up the album to me. That it's getting personal because I can not longer afford to have fun at things from a distance, which is what I did with the 2 first albums, for which I still stand, and I'm quite proud of the 2 first albums. I think they were a lot of fun to make and also to listen to. I still like them, but you know, that's done. I'm moving forwards. So Manifesto Futurista. Italian title is, as you say, a much more direct album than its precedents.
You mentioned that the response you got for the first 2 albums wasn't quite as you expected. You expected controversy or reactions, but not the way you got it.
No way.
What went wrong? All right.
What went wrong was really, I believe, I really believe that this particular case was a coincidence. What happened with the young Finn was, who never actually wrote me. He might have downloaded the album illegally for all I know. Possibly he had it, I don't know. He had a YouTube account. I think he started out with. I've been reading about him, you know, since this happened. He had a YouTube account in the name of Natural Selector 89, and probably he was not a racist, or he was not a Nazi at least. He hated Nazis, he said, but he was, you know, he was basically thinking that all human beings are scum and so on and so forth. So his first YouTube account under the name of Natural Selector 89 was suspended. So which meant that he had to register, if I'm right. Possibly he used, and then he chose the name Sturmgeist89. You know, why did you choose Sturmgeist? He left a list of some 17 artists that he really admired, such as KFMDM, I think, a band that I don't know. He liked Alice Cooper, he liked Rammstein, I think he also liked Wumpscut, and he chose my name as the name for his YouTube account. That's my only link to the case that I've spent so much time on over the last few years. So it's bad stuff when that happened. So for me, that was rather a coincidence. He liked music. I think that his psychological or pathological case was a case of the boy was obviously suicidal. School shootings, when followed by a suicide, is usually it is obviously a way of killing oneself, going down in history, which is not the case really. You just go down with a lot of media attention. Taking other people with you, so it's a desperate and sick reaction to personal problems that obviously I wouldn't recommend anyone in doing. The two first, beyond that, the two first Sturmgeist album got some attention in the metal, especially the first one, as it was my first release ever outside Solefald.
Yeah.
And reviews of the albums they've been quite mixed. Which really doesn't disturb me or surprise me much, I have to say. I am very grateful for some good reviews that have been made, which means that at least some reviewers they got my point. Like Malcolm Dome in Metal Hammer UK, he wrote a brilliant review of Uber. The first album, Maestro Mephisto, got a favorable review in Terrorizer 2, where I think it was, I don't remember the name of the journalist, but he wrote that he called it Sturmgeist has come up with their own unique brand of jackboot chic. So, which really was what I wanted to do, you know. It's like mercenary type of aesthetic, anyway, on the two first albums, and some people got the point, and a lot of people didn't like it.
I guess the Germans didn't really got this Uber thing, I suppose.
I think they got the point, but they didn't approve of the point, because it really was more targeting probably a kind of Scandinavian or possibly UK audience, due to the layers of irony and playfulness with topics that for German listeners are very hard to accept. I mean, it wasn't in any way an insult to German culture, because the backbone of Sturmgeist is actually German culture.
Yeah.
It's more me having sort of filling the concept to the brim with Germanic culture. It becomes necessary to take an ironic view on the matter, you know, in order to distance myself from, for instance, the skinhead and Nazi bands out there, because Sturmgeist is not a Nazi band. We never have been and never will be. I have even considered covering Nazi Punk's "Fuck Off" by Dead Kennedys, but I won't do so because it is too blunt and too easy to do. I like being in ambivalence, but which also means that I will never, you know, make any what do you call them, simple statements going in this direction that we are this or we are that. I like ambivalence.